Hello there, stay a while and listen. Where the glow of the morning sun bathes the marble halls of a grand Roman palace, you are about to embark on a journey, a gentle exploration of the daily life of one of the most powerful figures in history, a Roman emperor whose authority stretched across continents, but whose daily routine was not so different from our own in its most human of moments. As you settle into your comfortable space, let the rhythm of the story guide you. Feel the soothing flow of ancient life, with its rituals, challenges, and comforts, as we begin to explore the surprisingly intricate, sometimes humble, and always fascinating world of Roman imperial hygiene and daily rituals. Imagine yourself transported to an era long past. The morning of an emperor. You have just awakened in the heart of the Roman Empire, in an opulent palace fit for an emperor. The first thing you notice, even before your eyes fully open, is the softness beneath you. No rough woolen blankets for you. That's your first clue that even the most powerful man in the world cannot escape certain earthly needs. Outside your door, the soft padding of feet is heard as your household begins its day. At least 50 people are already up, working on preparations before you've even begun to stir. Your chamber pot, sitting quietly in the corner, awaits attention, as there is no flushing toilet to relieve you. He places a silver basin filled with warm water, scented with lavender and rose oil, beside your bed. The gentle touch of his hands, always respectful, is a constant throughout your routine. No toothpaste or toothbrush here. Instead, a slave hands you a small twig from the Salvadora persica, a plant imported from Syria. You chew one end until it becomes frayed, forming a natural brush. The wood has antiseptic properties, but the result is hardly minty fresh. At times, a mixture of ground animal bones and honey is used, though it is not the most pleasant of pastes. Instead, you lie upon a mattress stuffed with the finest swan feathers, wrapped in silken sheets dyed in the deep, regal purple that is reserved only for those of imperial blood. The ammonia in the urine was believed to whiten teeth, and legend has it that even Emperor Nero used it. The practice, though unpleasant by today's standards, was widespread. After rinsing your mouth with water, thankfully, not urine, the next part of the routine begins. You nod, signaling the start of your elaborate morning ritual. The wizard ensures your comfort. The wizard will bless you with a sound sleep every time you return. The ancient rhythm of this journey will always be here, waiting to lull you into rest. There is no rush. It is a slow, deliberate process, honed over years, but it is not without its inconveniences. The air is thick with the sweet, calming scent of frankincense and myrrh burning in golden braziers, their precious smoke filling your room. However, there is something else that mingles with the pleasant aroma, a faint, unmistakable scent of human waste. The morning light filters softly through alabaster windows, casting a warm glow over the mosaic floor beneath you, where Neptune and his sea creatures dance across the stone. Your personal body slave enters quietly. His presence is a reminder that, even as emperor, you are not alone in the most intimate of moments. As he lowers his gaze in deference, he asks, "Good morning, Caesar. Shall we begin?" Now, my friend, if you're enjoying this peaceful escape into history, consider subscribing. The routine begins. The first task is your teeth. A far cry from modern dental care. Perhaps most shocking to a modern dentist, the ancient Romans sometimes used urine to clean their teeth. The wizard's blessing is only a click away. By subscribing, you'll be invited into more tranquil tales, each woven to guide you into restful nights. The ritual of grooming next. You are helped to use the chamber pot, a beautifully decorated silver vessel, but still, just a bucket for your waste. No flushing, no privacy. Olive oil, the most basic of Roman skincare products, is first. Then there are more elaborate concoctions. Lanolin, sheep's grease, beeswax, and even white lead to lighten your complexion. Yes, lead. The Romans didn't know its toxic properties, so it was used generously. You are slowly poisoning yourself. But in pursuit of beauty, this is just another part of the ritual. The waste will be emptied later into one of the palace's private latrines, part of the great Cloaca Maxima, Rome's ancient sewer system. As you lie back, the mask is smoothed over your forehead, soothing your skin as you prepare for the next part of your grooming routine. Well into adulthood, Tiberius fought pimples on his face with various remedies, including honey, resin, and alum. In your early days as emperor, you may have worn your age with dignity, like some of your predecessors, men like Claudius, who sported their grey hair with pride. But many emperors were determined to maintain the illusion of eternal youth. Even those who were greying at the temples sought to preserve their image of vigor, using makeup, wigs, and styling to hide the inevitable signs of aging. You can imagine the discomfort he endured, just as you are now enduring the subtle sting of the honey mask. Don't let the rhythms of history escape you. Now for your face. Your body slave brings forth small alabaster bottles, filled with oils and creams. A honey mask is applied next, a much more effective treatment for the occasional pimple, though not without its discomforts. As you continue to undergo your daily cleansing rituals, your mind wanders to the world outside your private chamber. His hairline, gradually retreating, became a source of self-consciousness. As a result, he would comb his remaining hair forward, hiding his baldness with the help of a laurel wreath. Perhaps you can relate. Even as emperor, you're not immune to the indignities of aging. Even emperors, despite their wealth and power, faced similar daily inconveniences and concerns as their subjects. You may be the ruler of the known world, but there are moments of human connection in the daily grind. Let us step outside the personal space of the emperor and look at the bigger picture, the world beyond the palace walls, where the empire's trials and triumphs intertwine with the lives of ordinary people, the emperor's struggles with imperfection. Even the most powerful men in history cannot escape their own humanity. As you sit back and allow the honey mask to dry on your face, you are reminded of the flaws and struggles that all men regardless of status must face. Despite your wealth, despite your might, the imperfections of the human body persist. Take, for example, the infamous Julius Caesar. Though revered as one of Rome's greatest military leaders, Caesar had his own concerns. Then there's Emperor Tiberius, who, despite his imperial power, faced the same affliction many Roman citizens struggled with: acne. Yet it is not just the outward imperfections that plague emperors. If you haven't already, subscribing to the channel will ensure more soothing tales, and with every subscription, the wizard ensures your journey into restful sleep continues. The obsession, the grooming ritual for the emperor is relentless. You may even remove all the hair from your entire body, including your eyebrows and eyelashes, in a bid to appear more feminine. Elagabalus, one of Rome's more eccentric emperors, reportedly went so far as to offer vast sums of money to physicians who could perform gender reassignment surgery. While this remains a historical oddity, it offers a glimpse into the lengths an emperor would go to control his image and appearance. Those with more extensive body hair might endure the discomfort of pumice stones, scraping away hair with a method that's nothing short of painful. The Romans, with their obsession for smooth. Remember that subscribing ensures you never miss a peaceful escape into history. The wizard blesses those who subscribe with a night of restful sleep, guided by these timeless tales. Hairless skin were pioneers in depilatory methods. Some emperors even resorted to creams made from bats, blood, and powdered viper. The lengths to which they went to achieve their appearance were truly extraordinary. With hair removal, there's the constant battle against baldness. Roman emperors, like their modern counterparts, did not take kindly to thinning hair. You, too, might consider remedies some more effective than others. Some emperors massaged their scalps with mixtures of horse teeth and bear grease in hopes of spurring hair growth. Others, like Emperor Otho, wore elaborate wigs that no one could discern were false. But it doesn't stop there. If you are an emperor like Elagabalus, balancing youth and power, then the concern for appearance continues. Whether balding or not, the grooming process is never complete. As a powerful ruler, you must always be presented as strong, youthful, and commanding. Men like Caracalla, whose cropped military cuts symbolized strength, ensured their haircuts were always immaculate, styled to perfection. For others, like Emperor Domitian, even a portrait on a coin or statue was a carefully crafted image. They couldn't afford to be seen as aging or weak, so statues were made to depict them with a full, healthy head of hair, no matter how bald they truly were. If you're enjoying this glimpse into ancient life, the bathhouse experience, as the morning continues, you are led to the imperial bathhouse, where your next set of rituals will begin. It is not just about cleanliness, but also about maintaining a public image. You step into a warm, steam-filled room where your body is coated in olive oil, a natural cleanser used by the Romans. The oil captures dirt, sweat, and dead skin, readying you for this curved metal tool, which works much like a modern squeegee, scrapes the oil and everything it has collected off your body. But before you dive into the business of ruling, let's take a moment to explore something deeper. The wizard's blessings will bring you peaceful sleep, and each subscription ensures you always have a calm escape to return to. What did the people of Rome, those who lived far from the gilded halls of the palace, experience in their daily lives? What mysteries of culture, society, and technology lay beneath the surface of their world? And begins the delicate task of applying a final, fragrant oil to your skin. The scent of rose and lavender lingers as you prepare for your next engagement. But your mind, while immersed in the rituals of imperial life, begins to wander beyond the palace's marble walls. What about the people who live outside, in the bustling streets of Rome? What do they experience? And how do their lives differ from yours, despite living within the same empire? The process is not gentle. The pressure is firm, leaving your skin pink and occasionally drawing a small amount of blood. Though it may be painful, it is an essential part of the routine. In Rome, baths were social spaces, places where citizens and emperors alike could relax, conduct business, or simply unwind. The oils help relax your muscles and soothe your skin. There are meetings to attend, political matters to address, and the empire to govern. For all the luxury of an emperor's life, there is the constant pressure to perform, to appear in command at all times. The bathhouse, like the daily rituals, is more than just a place for relaxation. It is an essential component of the image you must uphold. The ritual is long, slow, and deliberate, offering you a brief respite from the demands of being emperor. Even as an emperor, you may choose to visit a public bath, though your experience is likely to be private, or at the very least, cordoned off from the slaves prepare you for the first bath of the day. After the oil is scraped off, you are ready to enter the warm waters of the bath, where scented oils are added, perhaps myrrh or cinnamon, imported from faraway lands. But even as you soak, your thoughts drift beyond the marble walls of the bath. As you rise from the water and allow your slaves to pat you dry, it is time to move on to the next phase of the day. Food, politics, and the public. Feeling the soothing flow of this ancient tale, consider subscribing to the channel, The World Beyond the Emperor. Mysteries, culture, and archaeology. As you step out of the bath, your body's slave wraps you in a soft, warm towel. The contrast of daily life for all the luxury and comfort of an emperor's life. The vast majority of Romans lived in conditions that would be unrecognizable to those of us today. The common people of Rome, who lived in cramped, often damp insulae, had no access to private baths or luxurious oils. Their daily lives were a constant struggle, and hygiene, while important, was a far more rudimentary matter. Imagine the streets of Rome. The smell of human waste and food wafts through the air. Most of the city's population has to rely on the public baths, which, though impressive in their size and grandeur, are shared by many. While emperors and the elite had access to private bathhouses, for most Romans, the experience was less about relaxation and more about necessity. Even the public baths, despite their beauty and scale, were still places where the poor and wealthy rubbed shoulders in the same waters. While it was an impressive feat of engineering for its time, its smell could still be overwhelming. Even emperors, with their private baths and latrines, had to deal with the challenges of waste management in a city as crowded as Rome. A peaceful night's sleep will always follow with every journey. The city's sewage would eventually empty into the Tiber River, mixing with the water and spreading the unpleasant aromas that defined the urban landscape. Public latrines, often nothing more than stone benches with holes for sitting, were places for the most basic of needs. They were not just places to clean oneself, but also centers of socialization, relaxation, and even politics. The most grandiose bath complexes like the baths of Caracalla or the baths of Diocletian were monumental structures, complete with libraries, gyms, and gardens. Here the elite could meet, discuss politics, or simply enjoy the luxury of warmth and water, while the common people enjoyed the same facilities, albeit in less extravagant. They were functional, but by today's standards, they were far from private or hygienic. The communal nature of these facilities reflected the Roman understanding of public life. Everything was shared, even the most personal aspects of daily existence. The wealthy might use soft wool or linen cloth to wipe themselves, while the poor used a sponge on a stick shared among the public and rinsed in a bucket of vinegar or salt water. If you've made it this far into the tale, the wizard's power is with you. By subscribing, you continue this tranquil journey, ensuring the stories will always return to guide you to restful slumbers. Roman innovations. Architecture and engineering, they created a vast network of some of which still stand today, designed to bring fresh water into the city from distant sources. These aqueducts not only provided water for drinking but also fed the public fountains, baths, and latrines, making them a critical part of daily life in the empire. Despite these uncomfortable realities, Rome was an empire defined by its technological advancements. The Romans were remarkable engineers and innovators. It was also the Romans who built the Cloaca Maxima, one of the earliest sewage systems in the world. The public baths themselves were one of the most remarkable achievements of Roman culture. And once again, dear listener, if you find comfort in these tales, subscribing is your way of ensuring the wizard's blessings remain with you. Roman culture and hygiene practices. Despite these innovations, hygiene practices in ancient Rome were often far removed from modern standards. Though the Romans used scented oils and perfumes in their daily routines, their understanding of cleanliness was more about appearance than true sanitation. The use of perfumes, particularly those made from exotic spices and flowers, imported from all corners of the empire, was considered both a sign of wealth and a way to mask body odor. For the wealthy, these perfumes served as a form of self-care and status, while for the poor, they were a luxury few could afford. The Roman obsession with beauty and grooming was pervasive. Even in the midst of war and political upheaval, emperors and their courts spent significant time and resources on their appearance. The elite of Rome would go to great lengths to ensure that their skin was flawless, their hair perfectly groomed, and their bodies free of unwanted hair. Depilatory creams made from substances such as bat's blood, frog bones, and quicklime were common among the rich. Even emperors wore these charms, believing in their protective powers against disease and bad luck. They would also regularly consult their physicians, who often had access to rare and exotic remedies from across the empire. Each subscription grants you the wizard's blessing for sound sleep and peaceful journeys through time. Whether these practices were effective is up for debate, but they demonstrate the extent to which Romans sought control over their bodies and their health. These substances, while effective, were often dangerous, and some emperors even died from the effects of these toxic beauty treatments. But marvel at the intricate relationship between appearance, health, and power in the Roman world, from the grandeur of the public baths to the humble public latrines, from the elaborate cosmetic rituals of emperors to the practical challenges of disease and sanitation. The Roman Empire was a place where hygiene and image were intertwined with the very nature of rule. The wizard's blessings follow those who subscribe, ensuring the rest of your day and night is filled with comfort and peaceful rest. Bloodletting, herbal remedies, and mystical potions were common treatments for ailments. What was it like to live in the shadows of the emperor? How did the social hierarchies and systems of power impact the everyday lives of Rome's citizens? Let's explore the world beyond the imperial palace, where the rhythms of life were simpler but no less challenging. In fact, many emperors, including Augustus, Tiberius, and Nero, suffered from various health conditions that were often treated with rudimentary or dangerous methods. Augustus, for example, suffered from a chronic cough and other ailments, while Tiberius endured skin conditions that required constant treatment. Even the emperor's health was subject to the same uncertainties as that of the common people. Don't let the story end just yet. Subscribe now. The mystery of Roman medicine. The empire's vast reach meant that different cultures and traditions influenced Roman healthcare. For many emperors, maintaining their health was just as important as maintaining their public image. The famous physician Galen served the emperors, particularly Marcus Aurelius, and was a proponent of preventative medicine, emphasizing the importance of diet, exercise, and hygiene. Roman medicine was another realm of fascinating, if unsettling, practices. Yet, Roman medicine was still very much in its infancy compared to modern standards. One of the more unusual practices of Roman medicine involved the use of amulets and charms to ward off illness. As you leave the bath and prepare to embark on your day's duties, you cannot help. If the rich details of Roman life have been a soothing escape for you, consider subscribing to ensure the wizard's magic remains with you. As you begin to dress in the finest garments the empire has to offer, your mind turns to the next aspect of Roman life: the contrast between the daily lives of the elite and the common people. The contrasting daily lives, the elite and the common folk. As you step into your ceremonial robes, the layers of the toga and intricate jewelry weighing upon you, you are reminded of the contrast that defines the Roman Empire. The opulence and luxury of the emperor's daily life stand in stark contrast to the struggles faced by the people who populate the streets of Rome. For you, everything is arranged, orchestrated by a host of slaves and attendants. For the common folk, life is a constant rhythm of work, scarcity, and survival. The furnishings are made of marble, fine woods, and precious metals, showcasing the wealth accumulated through commerce, military service, or inherited fortunes. The dinner table, known as the cinna, is a place for displaying wealth. Senators, the men who advise and govern the empire, are higher in status than wealthy merchants or landowners. Each clique brings more restful escapes into history, where peaceful moments await you. Yet all of them share in the common pursuit of maintaining their image and position. Your own daily routine of grooming, bathing, and dressing is a reflection of the expectations placed upon those of high status in Rome. For the elite, eating is not just about sustenance, it is a performance. Dishes are elaborate, presented with an almost theatrical flair, and the conversation is laced with political intrigue and the art of diplomacy. Even the manner in which one reclines at the table on a couch, supported by one elbows, a statement of social status. These homes are equipped with baths, often private ones, much like the ones in your palace, though on a smaller scale. Here the elite could relax, conduct business, and entertain guests. The elite, a world of ritual and display. As an emperor, you are part of a select class that has access to the finest luxuries Rome has to offer. Your day is marked by rituals that both maintain and reinforce your status. Every appearance, every meal, every bath is an expression of imperial power and wealth. But you are not alone in this luxurious existence. The elite of Rome's senators, aristocrats, and wealthy landowners live in their own palaces, far removed from the squalor of the insulae, where the poor reside. These individuals may not command entire empires, but they wield considerable power within Roman society. Their lives are dictated by a complex web of obligations, ceremonies, and, of course, appearances. Wealthy Romans, like yourself, would typically live in private homes built around central courtyards, with exquisite mosaics and frescoes adorning the walls. The social calendar of a wealthy Roman is filled with gatherings, formal dinners, political meetings, and religious ceremonies. But even within the realm of the elite, there are divisions. The wizard's blessings follow those who subscribe, ensuring more journeys like this one. The common folk, a life of struggle and resilience now. Turn your gaze from the lavish life of the emperor and the elite, and look to the common people of Rome, the plebs. These men and women live in vastly different circumstances, but their lives, too, are defined by routine and survival. These buildings are cramped, with narrow hallways and small, dimly lit rooms. While public baths exist, they are a communal experience, shared by thousands of people each day. The wealthy dine on lavish meals, whole roasted boars, peacock, and exotic fruits from across the empire. But for the plebs, the meals are simpler. Bread, the staple of the Roman diet, is often served with olives, cheese, and a small portion of vegetables or fish. They are far more concerned with securing their next meal or avoiding the latest round of political unrest. The grain supply, controlled by the emperor, is critical to the lives of the common folk, and any disruption to this supply can lead to riots. With a subscription, the wizard continues to grant you soothing stories, each designed to bring tranquility to your nights. The annona, or grain dole, provided a steady supply of food to those who needed it most, but it was far from a guarantee. They were a form of escapism, a temporary reprieve from the struggle of daily life. The emperor, seated in his imperial box, could look down upon the bloodshed below, knowing that for a few hours the attention of the people was directed away from their own troubles. Here, the common folk wash away the dirt and grime of their hard labor, but the experience is as much about necessity as it is about cleanliness. While the wealthy could indulge in luxury, the poor were expected to remain loyal to the emperor and the ruling class. But the Roman elite were also aware of the precarious nature of their rule. The plebs, though disenfranchised, were crucial to the maintenance of order. The emperors, in their desire to maintain control, often turned to entertainment, particularly the gladiatorial games, to pacify the common people. The games, held in grand arenas, like the Colosseum, were not just a form of entertainment, but a way to keep the masses distracted from their hardship. The promise of free bread and circuses was often enough to keep the peace. Though not always, bathing is not a leisurely pursuit. It is a vital part of their daily routine. The wealthy may have private bathhouses in their homes, but for the common folk, the public bath is the only option. Subscribing will ensure the wizard's blessings continue to guide you through these soothing tales. Privacy is a luxury they can scarcely afford. The apartments are basic, often no better than a series of small rooms stacked on top of one another. Many of these buildings lack proper sanitation facilities, and the smell of waste can be overpowering, especially in the hotter months. Public latrines are often their only option for relieving themselves. For the common folk, life is often hard. They live in insulae, multi-story apartment buildings made of wood and brick. The plebs are also far removed from the grandeur of the baths enjoyed by the emperor. Food is another daily challenge for the common people. Even with the grain dole, many still struggle to make ends meet. The poor live on the edge, always vulnerable to the whims of the political class or the fluctuations in the economy. The common people, unlike the emperor and the elite, do not have the luxury of idleness or luxury. They work in the markets, in the fields, or as laborers in the city. Their work is physically demanding, often dangerous, and paid poorly. Many are slaves, their lives completely controlled by the whims of their masters. For the common folk, the idea of a lavish banquet or an extravagant bath is nothing more than a distant dream. Are you finding peace in these gentle explorations of history? The mystery of the poor in ancient Rome. One of the most remarkable aspects of Roman society is how it balanced this stark division between the elite and the poor. The Roman games themselves were a spectacle of violence, but for the masses, there was something far more. Before we proceed, imagine yourself again wrapped in comfort, drifting into a peaceful sleep. The life of a slave in the imperial palace, amidst the grandeur of imperial life. The role of slaves is often overlooked, yet it is the slaves who form the backbone of the emperor's daily routines. While slaves in the imperial palace enjoy some measure of privilege, compared to those in the fields or in the mines, they remain subject to the whims of their masters. Some slaves, particularly those who served as trusted advisors or tutors, could become highly educated and skilled. Though the emperor holds the greatest power in the empire, even he is not free from the demands of image, appearance, and hygiene. Meanwhile, the common people, though powerless, shape the very pulse of the empire through their labor and loyalty. And in between, the slaves quiet invisible play a role that sustains the emperor's power. Your attire is in place, your grooming rituals completed, and the atmosphere around you hums with the anticipation of what is to come. However, before you fully step into your imperial duties, you must perform one last set of personal rituals. These will prepare you not only for the day's work, but for your public appearances, where every gesture, every look, every word will be scrutinized by those who both worship and fear you. Others, like your body's slave, might enjoy a close relationship with the emperor, becoming indispensable in the daily rituals of imperial life. Their lives are not their own, and their service is constant. In the palace, they are always present, quietly attending to your every need. The wizard's gentle whispers will continue to guide you to restful sleep, bringing peace to your nights. It is they who prepare your baths, massage your body, and dress you in your finest garments. But their lives, too, are shaped by the power dynamics of Roman society. While you sleep in luxurious silk sheets, they sleep on small pallets on the floor, waiting for any requests that might arise during the night. Roman slaves come from all walks of life. Some are captured in war, others are born into slavery, and some may even sell themselves into slavery to pay off debts. Yet despite their lack of freedom, slaves in ancient Rome could sometimes attain positions of considerable power. As you stand in your regal attire, gazing down upon the contrasting lives of the elite and the common folk, you are reminded of the paradoxes of Roman society. If you're feeling the serenity of this journey through time, consider subscribing. The Emperor's final rituals, intimacy, power, and spectacle as the day progresses. You, the Emperor, prepare to move from the quiet rituals of self-care to the bustling activities of ruling the empire. The final grooming. A reflection of imperial power, you are now ready to be dressed. But even in this simple act, a golden signet ring bearing the seal of Rome is placed on your finger, a symbol of your authority. Perhaps you add a few more rings, each one reflecting a different aspect of your imperial rule. Power. Some used subtle tints on their cheeks or lips, just enough to give them a healthy glow, though not so much as to appear overly cosmetic. Every subscriber is blessed with peaceful sleep, and with your subscription, the wizard's soothing influence will continue to guide you gently into restful slumber each night. The idea was simple. Keep the appearance of youth, strength, and, above all, divine favor, wisdom, family, and history. Some emperors, like Nero, were known for wearing a variety of extravagant pieces, while others, like Marcus Aurelius, preferred simplicity in their accessories. Your jewelry, like your toga, must convey your status, but never to the point of too much display of wealth might seem unbecoming. It's a fine balance between power and dignity. Your role as emperor is emphasized. Your slaves bring forth your imperial garments, your tunic, carefully woven from the finest linen, and your toga, a heavy piece of cloth, dyed in the rare, coveted purple color of imperial status. The toga picta, as it's called, is reserved for formal, ceremonial occasions. The intricate folds of the fabric must be carefully arranged by your attendants, ensuring that every movement reflects the majesty of Rome. The purple hue signifies your unchallenged position in the empire, and no one else is permitted to wear such a color without the risk of severe punishment. The final touch comes when you are presented with your imperial jewelry. Preparation for. It is time to prepare for your upcoming public engagements. The first of these is a formal audience with a group of ambassadors from a far-off land, one of Rome's many conquered provinces. As emperor, you must present yourself as both a dignified ruler and a gracious host, maintaining an image of authority while also embodying the warmth that Roman rulers were sometimes known for. Public engagements. Now that your appearance is impeccable, your body slave hands you a small flask, a mixture of mint, salt, and charcoal designed to freshen your breath. A simple but effective ritual. You take the concoction into your mouth, swishing it around, and then expel it into a golden basin. Your attendants assist you in adjusting your garments, ensuring every fold of your toga is perfectly arranged. The sight of you, dressed and prepared, is a symbol not just of Rome's power, but of its eternal glory. Though many emperors engaged in this ritual before meeting with foreign dignitaries, some would go even further, applying small touches of color to their faces, to ensure they appeared vigorous and youthful. Have you felt the calming flow of this tale? Receiving the foreign ambassadors with your appearance now perfected, you are ready to receive the foreign ambassadors. The imperial hall is carefully prepared for this occasion, with fresh flowers scattered across the floor, and the smell of incense drifting in the air. The golden oil lamps cast a soft light that flickers across the marble statues of the gods and emperors who came before you. As you enter the grand hall, a hush falls over the assembly. The ambassadors listen carefully, their eyes fixed on you. They know that their future and the future of their provinces depends on your decisions. The ambassadors, a group of distinguished men from a distant province, rise to their feet. You are not just an emperor giving orders. You are also a symbol of power, an icon. The political and diplomatic weight of your responsibilities begins to take its toll, and so you retreat to a more private space to gather your thoughts. Here, you are able to remove the heavy weight of your imperial garments. The wizard grants peace to those who seek it. With a simple click, you change into a more comfortable robe, one made of light linen, and your attendants bring you refreshments, perhaps a cup of watered wine with honey, soothing after the strains of the day. You must appear both wise and strong, compassionate yet resolute. The demands of leadership, of ruling an empire as vast and diverse as Rome, never cease. Even in moments of rest, you must prepare yourself mentally for the next task, the next decision. Your every word carries the weight of an empire that spans continents, and how you present yourself in these moments will be remembered long after you are gone. They bow in reverence, their movements cautious, mindful of the powerful figure before them. Don't forget, by subscribing, you assure the continuation of these peaceful journeys through history, where sleep is always near. The room is filled with anticipation. What will you say? What decisions will you make? In these moments, you wield more than just political power. You are the living embodiment of Rome, its might and majesty. Every glance, every gesture you make is a performance. You might wave to signal them to sit or nod in acknowledgement of their presence. Your voice, when it finally comes, is calm and measured, its authority unmistakable. While you converse with them, discussing matters of trade, war, or diplomacy, the air in the room becomes thick with the weight of your words. But even as you engage with them, there is a part of you that remains keenly aware of the performance that is unfolding. The wizard's blessings are here to ensure your nights are filled with peaceful rest, a time of reflection and rest after the audience has concluded and the ambassadors have departed. There is a brief moment of respite. Though your time in the palace is marked by ritual and grandeur, these moments of quiet reflection are necessary. If you find comfort in these reflections, subscribing is the perfect way to ensure that your nights remain calm. The social a banquet, where you will once again perform the role of both ruler and host. Every conversation, every gesture will be under scrutiny. The way you laugh, the way you interact with your guests, conveys not only your personal character but the strength and stability of your rule. Unlike the private audience with ambassadors, this event will be a social affair, where the conversation will flow more freely. Others, like Vitellius, indulged in extravagant feasts, eating far more than the body could handle. The wines flow freely, though you ever the embodiment of restraintedly sip modestly, mindful of the image you wish to maintain. The attendees, all high-ranking Romans, will engage with you, not only as their ruler, but as their peer. The public events, the military review, the audience with the people are now behind you. The emperor's daily duties are a constant cycle of performance. And yet, in these final moments before nightfall, you are allowed a brief reprieve, a return to the privacy of your chambers. Musicians, dancers, and poets perform for you, and at times, these moments of leisure are as political as they are pleasurable. The socializing, the diplomacy, the appearances, it all blends together into a routine, a cycle of power and performance. Even in your private moments, you must be ever mindful of the image you project. A well-timed compliment or a humorous story shared between bites of food can cement alliances or break down rivals. In the world of Roman politics, nothing is ever truly private. The scene will be lavish with the finest foods and wines the empire can provide. Role of the emperor as the afternoon wanes. You prepare for a more relaxed engagement and evening with the elite of Rome. But even at a dinner with friends, you remain the center of attention. The dishes are brought forth, roasted meats, exotic fruits, and delicate sweets. Some emperors, like Augustus, preferred a simple meal. Throughout the evening, the guests enjoy not only the food, but the entertainment. As the evening winds down, you retire to your private chambers, your thoughts already turning toward the next day's responsibilities. Does the peace of these tailies settle over you like a soft blanket? By subscribing, you ensure the wizard's gifts of restful sleep continue to accompany you. Let the calm flow with every new journey. The Emperor's Evening, personal reflection and final rites. As the day draws to a close, and the last rays of the sun cast a gentle glow over the imperial palace, you'll return to the more intimate spaces of your life. The quiet of the evening, you retire to your private rooms, where the atmosphere is markedly different from the bustling halls of the palace. The sounds of the outside world, the conversations of courtiers, the clattering of the city are distant, muffled by thick walls and the soft curtains drawn over the windows. The soft, rhythmic sound of their movements is a gentle reminder that even in solitude, you are never truly alone. A servant enters with a soft bowl of water, this time infused with lavender and chamomile, to soothe your senses after the day's demands. As the cool water touches your skin, you are reminded of the fragility of the human body, even in the midst of imperial power. The world outside may need you to be strong, but here, in the quiet of your chamber, you can finally let go. The flickering light of oil lamps casts long shadows across the room, and the faint scent of incense lingers in the air. Subscribe now, and the magic will continue. In this space, you are no longer the emperor, but simply a man seeking rest. Your body's slave prepares the chamber for the evening's rituals. Imagine the tranquility that this peaceful narrative brings to your night. By subscribing, you ensure that the wizard's comforting tailies are always with you, helping you to find rest and relaxation after the demands of your day. The intimate rites of the evening. You are aided in removing the heavy regalia of your imperial attire, replacing your toga with the more comfortable garments of rest. But the empire is never truly far from your mind. There are moments when you may lie awake, reflecting on the decisions of the day, thinking of the soldiers you saw earlier or the petitions you approved. Your mind is always active, analyzing and evaluating the events of the empire. Your reign is marked by both personal quiet and the ever-present weight of responsibility. Your attendants make sure you are properly cared for, adjusting your bedding and ensuring that your personal needs are met. Yet, even in these private moments, your position remains a quiet undercurrent. The presence of your body slave, your attendants, and your physicians remind you that even in sleep, you are the emperor. The final moments of the day are often marked by a personal ritual, a moment of reflection before sleep. In many ways, the rituals of the evening serve to reinforce your humanity, allowing you a small window of reprieve from the weight of the empire. Can you feel the calm settling in? The wizard's powers will ensure that each story you hear brings you closer to peaceful sleep. The nighttime reflection as you lie in bed, preparing for sleep. There is a moment of stillness. Your body slave, positioned quietly nearby, watches over you, ever vigilant. The night is not a time for action, but for reflection. You consider the state of your empire, the victories won, the challenges yet to be faced. The peace of the evening is a temporary respite, a brief return to a semblance of normalcy, before the weight of leadership demands your attention again. Tonight, perhaps, you reflect on your legacy. The decisions you make, both small and grand, will be remembered long after your reign ends. You are both a part of history and a maker of it. By subscribing, Comfort of the Palace, you ensure that each evening, the calm and comfort of these tailies will carry you into peaceful sleep. Subscribing guarantees that the calming flow of these tailies continues, guiding you into restful slumber every night. The monuments to your power, whether they are grand statues or military victories, will stand as a testament to your rule. There is some comfort to be found in the palace itself. It is a place that has been carefully crafted to meet every need, from the soft linens on your bed to the intricately designed furniture in your chambers. The palace is a symbol of your power, yes, but it also offers a sanctuary. You continue to ensure that the wizard's blessings remain with you. Drift off into peaceful sleep, knowing that the stories of emperors and empires will always bring comfort. Within its walls, you can briefly escape the noise of the outside world, retreating to a space that is entirely your own. The relationships between an emperor and his family, friends, and advisors are often layered with complexity, as power dynamics play a significant role even in the most intimate of interactions. The walls are adorned with exquisite tapestries that tell the story of Rome's triumphs, victories in battle, the founding of the empire, the coolness of the sheets offering comfort. You are once again reminded of the careful balance you must maintain between your public duties and your private moments. The palace, though a place of power, is also a place of refuge, temporary respite before the cycle begins anew. The great emperors who have come before you, these images, though grand, serve as a reminder of your place in history and of the responsibility you carry. Perhaps tonight, as you prepare for sleep, you think of your family, of the loved ones who accompany you on your journey through power and responsibility. Yet, despite this, there is an underlying truth that you cannot escape. The very nature of your power is transient. The empire may endure, but rulers come and go. The sleep that beckons you tonight is a reminder that all are vulnerable to the passing of time. As your thoughts drift, know that the wizard's blessings remain with you, the emperor and his personal relationships. In these moments of reflection, the question arises: how does the emperor relate to those closest to him? These relationships, while personal, are also strategic. Emperors must carefully balance affection and duty, ensuring that those closest to them do not seek to undermine their authority. Family members may be trusted advisors, or they may be rivals vying for power. Even in these quiet moments before sleep, you are acutely aware of the tension between intimacy and the role you play as ruler. The wizard's presence will continue with every new chapter, for despite the complexities of imperial relationships, your chamber is designed with both beauty and function in mind. As you settle deeper into your bed, with a click of the subscription button, the final quiet moments before sleep, the lamp beside your bed flickers, casting long shadows across the room. The sounds of the palace grow quieter as the night settles in. Your body's slave quietly moves to the door, preparing to leave you to your rest. The palace grows still, and the emperor is, for now, just a man, lying in his bed, preparing for the cycle to begin once again. There is a fleeting moment of peace, a brief interlude between the demands of your office and the simplicity of rest. As sleep beckons, you allow yourself to let go of the day's worries, knowing that tomorrow will bring more challenges, more decisions, more public appearances. But for now, you can rest. The empire will still be there when you wake. But tonight, you are simply an emperor who seeks the comfort of sleep, the most human of experiences. The wizard's gentle influence will guide you to peaceful, uninterrupted sleep, night after night. The soft embrace of slumber takes you, your mind drifting away from the complexities of leadership. The rhythm of the Roman Empire is constant, a never-ending cycle of governance, ritual, and rest. Each day is a performance, each night a retreat into the comfort of rest. And though the emperor's life may seem larger than life, it is ultimately marked by the same rhythms as that of any man. And so, my friend, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Conclusion. As the night deepens and sleep settles over the emperor, so too does the empire rest its fate, lying in the hands of those who rule, yet always tethered to the lives of its people. I hope you found the journey through his rituals, duties, and moments of respite both soothing and informative. The emperor's day is a delicate balance of power, responsibility, and the quiet need for personal peace. It is a reminder that even those who rule must find moments to rest, reflect, and simply be. The empire will awaken once more with the dawn, and with it, the eternal cycle of imperial life. This concludes the exploration of the daily life of the emperor. And remember, dear listener, subscribing means the wizard's gifts will always be with you, guiding you to a peaceful night of rest with every story.